choked up by the terrible liar, coming up my body, closed down, torn up and torn out of my dreams is what I say when I was 19. What's the hold up? Can you feel the clutter of your actions infect my brain? The volume's up, but the picture is blurry with the glasses that you gave me that day. I wanna be a respectable, reliable, responsible young man. I'll probably be a cynical, resentful, desperate old man. Take it down, you really got me with that one. Cheer up, you've already seen the lowest point. Brought back to my standard pace of living. I'm exactly on schedule again. Yeah, it's exciting that you graduated. I think I'll graduate to another 5-bedroom rundown old house. Severely overrated. I'm feeling worse about myself with every heartbeat on the couch. I wanna be a respectable, reliable, responsible young man. I'll probably be a cynical, resentful, desperate old man.
Hello, and welcome to the inaugural episode of the Bedcast, coming to you live from my bedroom. Yes, that intro was brought to us by Alamar, a lovely little song called Life is Hell, and so can you find him on Facebook under Alamar Music, Twitter at Alamar Music, and he's got a big cartel, alamar.bigcartel.com. Want to give him a big shout out because I love his work. Yeah, so this episode is going to be about purpose. You know, it's okay not to have a purpose or not know your purpose, maybe. You know, some people are ingrained with some kind of higher calling ever since they're young, and some people just don't have that, I guess. What I've found is instead of looking for a purpose, I just look at the mission I want to do. And what I want to do is just help spread positivity, and I want to promote inclusivity as much as I can. Because honestly, there is just already so much negativity in the world. Why do we need any more? I really don't think we do. But, you know, that's just me. So despite all of this negativity, I just want to spread more joy in the world and help people, you know, enjoy life more, because like it or not, you know, whatever you believe, wherever we came from, wherever we're going, it doesn't matter. We're all stuck in the same boat currently. We're all suffering through the incurable disease known as the human condition. I mean, you know, some people might not describe it as that, but some might. And for those people, you know, I want to shine a little light, you know, into their tunnels and help them come out of the dark. You know, it's not always a sunny day outside. Sometimes it rains, and sometimes the rain can just feel like a constant downpour. Um, and you just happen to forget your umbrella in the car that day at the Costco, and you come back outside, you're just getting poured on, whatever the situation may be. It'll pass. Maybe not quickly, maybe not for a while, maybe even years it might take to go away, but you know, that's the one thing I have faith about. The dark times are here, but they're never here to stay. So, I always want to look for the future. I have hope of the sunshine to come, and so I want to be that sunshine for some people. Whatever they're going through, I want to make them feel better, make them laugh, make them happy, whatever it is. 'Cause really, no one has this figured out. Someone told me a long time ago that the only real change in adulthood is that you learn when to cut the shit and when to be serious. Otherwise, you're just, an oversized kid with a lot more responsibilities on your plate, and you're expected to act like you just totally get it, when everyone else is out there, just winging it too. And, I hate to break it to you, but not everybody has their shit figured out, and that is very okay. It might take you years to get your shit figured out. It might take you a couple months. Everybody's in different places at different stages in their lives. And everyone has had different experiences in their lives. This is a very important thing to think about when you look at almost any situation, really. It could be somebody just cut you off in line, to go into a movie theater parking lot. You want to yell at the person. Maybe that's their one chance of getting it over on the world today, because the world's been getting over on them. And, you want to go yell at them, you want to start an altercation, but that's not going to solve anything, because you're both going to get mad. Maybe some punches will be thrown, maybe something worse will happen, you never know. But it's not going to make you feel any better in the end. They say that some people believe that, letting out your anger in very unhealthy ways will make you feel better. And in the short term, it may, you go punch a bag or something, but if you don't have that healthy outlet, when you have reached a point where you can no longer hold in whatever it is that you need to let out, it may come out explosively in another way. But that's not to say that you should hold everything in. You should definitely express yourself when you've got something, to get off your chest, but you shouldn't do it in a way that's going to harm yourself or other people, But back to what I was saying, you have to look at everyone as different, but, in the end, we're also all the same, because we're all going through this together with our very complex brains, trying to process everything that's being thrown at us every day, and with technology constantly evolving and all of this craziness that's going on right now, you never know what kind of day that person's had, and you don't know what kind of life they've had. Maybe they, normally are a happy-go-lucky kind of person, and today they're just having a very off day. And that's very forgivable. It's not always forgivable to lash out on someone, especially if you know better, but things do happen. We're human. We make mistakes. We're not perfect, no matter what anyone or anything says. Whatever you see in the news, whatever you see online, no one is perfect. And that's a very important concept to understand. No matter how many filters you hide behind, no matter, how many programs you use to edit your images. Nobody is perfect. No matter if you're only showing the highlights, there's also plenty of lowlights to go along with those. And so just try to be, conscientious of what you're doing to other people and how you might affect them. You might think, oh, why should I hold this door open for this, person of wherever you're at? Because it takes you 2 seconds longer to get into the store. But hey, that person could have just had the worst morning of their life, and you holding the door open for them might restore a little bit of their faith in humanity. Because in the end, we are all we have. As far as we know, we're alone in the universe. And as far as I know, we've yet to directly communicate with anything other than, say, orangutans with sign language. And that's, not to discredit that whole discovery and that whole, field of exploration, but we really just have each other, and we don't always treat each other the best, especially in our own homes, in our schools, in our communities. Everyone is just, at one time or another, guilty of being shitty to somebody else. You may not purposely do it. You may do it purposely because it makes you feel good, but, you're displacing something that's hurt you onto somebody else, and that doesn't make it right. So just try to be mindful of how you act towards other people while you look for your purpose. I was able to swing it back around because we're all looking for that one thing that makes us feel complete. And you could tie it into people looking for happiness or something like that. And personally, I think it's more of a journey than a destination. You just got to find either someone or something you want to spend your days with, or, some activity you want to be doing to fill your time until, your time is up. And at that point, it's anybody's guess. But just, your purpose shouldn't be to spread as much negativity as you can. I know the internet is a wonderful, wonderful resource for education, research, and things of the like. I guess I should have muted my phone before I started recording. That'll be done in the future episodes, don't worry. Just a little Seth Rogen laugh. Really just threw me off where I was going. But yeah, you shouldn't try to spread negativity around, because it might make you feel better in the short term again, but in the long term you're just hurting more people. And I don't even know who said it originally, but someone said, if you want to change the world around you, start in your own home. And I think that's a very powerful philosophy to live by. There's nothing better you can do than to work in your own community, do things to help those around you, and that way you'll actually see the results firsthand. And you might even start a butterfly effect where you start in your community, you volunteer to help with some public works projects, I don't know, whatever you can do, volunteer at a food bank. You might inspire somebody else or one of your friends to do the same thing in their community, either across the state, across the country, across the globe, wherever they may be. And if we just start this wave of people looking out for each other instead of looking for each other, as in, you're looking out for the competition, whereas if we build each other up, then I think that we could all get along way better. And I think that in general, we would be much, much happier as people. I don't think that we would have nearly as many conflicts or problems that we may or may not we have currently if we just all stopped and we're just kinder to each other. You don't have to go out of your way necessarily. You don't even have to really be kind, I guess, to people. You just have to not be a sack of shit to people in public, in private, wherever. People preach tolerance, but tolerance doesn't even have to mean acceptance or even understanding if you're someone who just can't wrap your head around an idea. Tolerance is just you're dealing with something in front of you and you're not opposing it. You don't even necessarily have to be an accepting kind of person, although obviously people who are accepting are much better overall because they're just, happier because they're not spending their times being so miserable trying to alienate themselves from the world and the communities around them. I know a lot of this is going to sound really hippy-dippy, but I mean, it just take a look at yourself and be honest. If the last time you yelled at someone, flipped somebody off in traffic, called somebody a bad name online, whatever, if that really made you feel good in the long term, okay. But I don't think it really did. I think you got some kind of short-term gratification. You felt better displacing your feelings onto somebody or something else. And sometimes that is a healthy escape, in comedy you might, make a crude joke about or against somebody, but it's all in good fun. If you're purposefully slinging these insults at someone to make their life worse, to make yourself feel better, that's just not okay. And you're not going to feel okay at the end of the day with that. I mean, you shouldn't, but I mean, that's just me. So, take it or leave it. That's just my opinion. I just want to see us all work together to build a brighter future. I know it sounds so corny, but, we have all of these amazing tools at our disposal that are being so underutilized because we can't get past our greed, our primal instincts that say we shouldn't be cooperating, we should be competing. And sure, there are times to compete, sporting events, gaming tournaments, whatever you have. And there are times for winners and losers, but I don't buy into social Darwinism on a whole. Because with humans, we're so removed from the animal kingdom because we can feel things like empathy, sympathy, and we have the free will. Well, that's a debate for another day. To do what we want, and I don't know what the latest research says, but we may or may not think that animals have the capacity for those things. It's certainly possible they do, and it's certainly possible that when we hurt them on a much deeper level than what we assume they are able to comprehend or feel. And that's just not super ideal to think about. But, if we just start working together, and obviously we had to work together to build this glorious civilization that we have now. As far as we know through recorded history, this is currently the peak of everything we've done, the advent of the Industrial Revolution. Ever since then, technology has been exponentially expanding, and our population levels have just skyrocketed. So, try to find your piece in the puzzle. Try to figure out where you belong. Try to figure out, what kind of skills you have, what you're good at. your day job doesn't necessarily have to be your dream, but it definitely helps. And you don't have to starve to death to fulfill your dream. You don't have to sell your soul to a factory for 50 hours a week either. Try to, if you don't like where you're going in life, just take a look around and say, what could I honestly change today that would make me feel that much better? I don't mean like big picture things. There's a lot of things you can't change, but you could start being more mindful. You can start meditating, doing yoga, something that'll make you just feel a little bit better every day. And that really makes all the difference, you know, because you're just taking time to be in tune with yourself, and in doing this, you can become more in tune with those around you. So it's not gonna kill you. It's worth a shot. I mean, don't take my word for it. There's tons and tons of people around the globe that all do these things. I'm not an expert, but the experts do agree that they're all beneficial activities to indulge in your life. Um, it brings me back to the whole, rainy day thing. That rain cloud is going to go away, but you might make it stay longer than it needs to, because we have the power of perception, but at the same time, we have the power to cloud our own judgment. Thanks to everything around us and us ourselves, depending on how we were raised, who we're around, And if you've got somebody that you feel is a very toxic influence in your life, but you don't want to let them go because you feel you owe them something, chances are, if they're treating you like that, then they don't appreciate what you've given them, and they're not giving you that back. So, I mean, it's always advisable to try to help them see, the other side of things, and say, hey, what you just did hurt me, something like that. Try to get them to see what is going on with their action or their lives. I mean, don't try to dictate other people's lives. Just if someone's going through a hard time, or if they're just acting in a very negative way, let them know how it affects you, how you feel. They may call you names, they may see things about you, but that really just goes to prove that either they're hurting inside or they're not your friend. And, life's too short to keep people around that don't care about you and don't prioritize you. I wasn't sure which word to use, but really that's a good one. People who don't prioritize you shouldn't be your priority. Now, obviously, there are times when you can't cut people out, say a family member or someone that's very close to you, but just try not to let their negativity and their venom flood you. You don't have to be a product of your surroundings. You can be whatever you want. You can feel whatever you want to feel. You can be a happier person if you believe you can. And I know that that's not always super easy to do. Maybe you need to go see a counselor. Maybe you need to get some kind of something to help you fix things internally. I don't want to say what, I don't want to give anyone any ideas. I'm not a doctor. I'm not licensed. But it never hurts to reach out and talk to somebody and see what kind of resources are out there for you. And just try to become a more better, full and whole person, because, if you just have this hole inside that keeps getting bigger and bigger, it gets harder and harder to fill with the years. And you don't want to spend your whole life trying to fill this trench that you've dug yourself. You want to be, I guess, planting a garden, for your future success, planting the seeds of life, I mean, if that's your thing, but, plant something that you'll be proud of. Even if you don't do it for anyone else, do it for yourself. Do something that makes you happy. Do something that makes you proud to be alive. Do something that makes you feel alive. Whatever it is, no matter how big or small, start with baby steps. You might be stuck in a rut. You might be in that trench. You're thinking, how on earth am I going to dig my way out of this? You're hearing me say this. You're thinking, hey, it must be nice up there. You just put one foot in front of the other. Take it one day at a time if that's all you can do. Take it one breath at a time if that's all you can do. And just look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm still here. And there's someone out there, even if it's just me, there's someone out there that's glad I'm still here. I'm glad everyone is still here all the time. That no one has to leave us untimely or anything like that. 'Cause really that is a very big part of this too. People will spend their lives wandering aimlessly, feeling that they've got no purpose, not knowing what their purpose is, and boredom leads to other things, and sometimes that boredom manifests itself in very negative ways. And it's always important to reach out in times of trouble and just talk to somebody, talk to, anybody you can. Sometimes all you need is some human interaction. Sometimes all you need is a little bit of sunshine, literal or metaphorical, to just brighten your day up or even your life, Plenty of resources out there, though. I wish I could Google a lot of them. Just do a whole bio that's just all links to things to help, I don't know. I like watercolor painting, I do that. I listen to opera music while I do it. It is amazing. It is one of my favorite activities, even if we only get to do it, once a month, twice a month, however many times. For those couple hours, I just feel at peace, and I feel like I can just tune out from all the noise, and I'm at peace. So, I don't know if that's everyone's thing. It's probably not, and not everybody likes to even paint. But you find your thing. You might not even know your thing, or you might think you don't have a thing. But I'm sure there's something out there for you. It's a really big rock we're living on right now, just spinning crazy in the middle of nothingness. There's got to be something out there for you. Yeah. So if you don't know your purpose, it's okay. Not everyone does right away. It takes some time to find it. And that's okay. But I'm glad you're all still here. I'm glad you haven't decided to leave us. I am glad that I've gotten to impart this upon you. And if you don't want to take any of this, if you just want to say, hey, fuck this guy, what does he know? I mean, you're right, I don't know anything. I'm in the same boat you are, I'm just sitting in my room right now, recording this podcast, and just twiddling my thumbs. I don't know anything. I don't claim to know anything. I just know what makes me happy. And you got to chase it. I left that silence a little too long, but it's okay. So I'm actually trying to find my outro, but I guess this will have to do. This is gonna be what I want to play. As far as like the tone of the music, I know it's kind of sad. I feel like a lot of blue collar music that, is about things real people feel is gonna be a lot more sad than some very poppy song you might hear on the radio. Unless it's a Phil Collins song. His songs, despite sounding very poppy, are very not. All of them at least. But, I can definitely relate to the blue collar working man songs more so than living in a mansion in the Beverly Hills with 12 cars in my garage. I mean, it's certainly fun to listen to. I do enjoy, the dream of that lifestyle, but personally, it's just something like this just cuts so much deeper. Next time, I might pull out some older folk music, maybe get some Townes Van Zandt, something like that. I don't know. I will try to have it a little more organized next time. This is kind of a just to get us started. I mean, I'll talk about whatever anyone wants me to talk about. I don't mind. Just understand that no one really has a grip. People claim they do, but it just takes one bad day and it could take everything tumbling. And life is precious, whether we want to think about it or not, because it could be taken from us any moment. So I just want everyone out there to try to treat their neighbors, both far and near, a little better than they have been, or at least acknowledge when you're not treating them as fairly as you should or could be, Just do that, help each other, lend someone a helping hand, and just try to figure out what you want to get out of this journey we're all sharing. 'Cause, it's just a ride in the end. It's a ride that we've all got on, and we're all experiencing together. We feel its ups and downs, its twists and turns right now. It's very scary and confusing times we're living in, but, it'll pass. As they say, this too shall pass. So, disregarding my comments about this'll do, my outro is going to be Eating Myself Alive by Alamar again. Same album. It's called Midwestern. Find it on Bandcamp, alomar.bandcamp.com, alomar.bandcamp.com. Again, here is Eating Myself Alive. I'll see you guys next time.
Told me you're holy, but you got that evil side. Your beauty, it stole me, and I found myself in the meantime. Oh, heaven above me, oh, how could you do this to me? No hell below me, I can't wait to come home and sing, sing, sing.
It's a beautiful fucking day to be alive. Thanks for listening, everybody.